What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily. We got our weekend edition here coming up. We're going to be taking a look at some of my coolest boas. We got some boa grow-ups I want to show you guys. The other day I did ball pythons. Now I'm going to do some really cool boa stuff. So let's go into the snake room without further ado and take a look at some really cool boas. All right, changing some water bowls in the outdoor olive python enclosure. This is my smaller pair right here, and that is a male albino right there. He's just been cruising around because the sun's out. At the late part of the day here, the sun comes out, and then he's trying to get a little absorb some UV rays here. In the morning, there's no sun on here, so they kind of just stay kaput. And then as the day wears on, they'll come out and play around. So let's see if we can see this female in here. She's just hanging out there. I don't know why. Maybe she's going to lay some eggs. Wouldn't that be nice? I think she's just in shed, that's all. So that's the head albino is the female on this one, whereas my other pair, it's the opposite. The albino is the female, and then the het is the male. So and Papa's back with the water. Fresh water. They love their fresh water. Little update on my female Bolens python that's been getting some new size on her. She's almost got her adult colors too. She's lost all those like reddish browns. She's gotten almost all black now. Look at her head, it's really black. She's looking really good. Definitely want to set her up in some sort of a naturalistic enclosure. Eventually when she's big enough, obviously I'm going to put her and the male together and cohabitate them, but the male's a lot bigger right now, so she's still a little baby, so she needs another year or two probably, but I wouldn't mind putting her in, like I said, some kind of a display enclosure just because she's kind of cool looking, and getting her out of this little drawer. But it's okay. I spray the drawer down every day, just because you want to keep humidity with these guys. I have her in the first room here, which I call my Australian room, because you don't want to keep them too warm. They like it a little cooler, than other snakes. And it's important that you give them that temperature gradient. She still has a hot spot she can warm up when she eats and stuff like that, but it's much cooler over here. It's probably 78 degrees in this room right now, and so I think she's got better temps. If she was in the other room, she's going to be sitting around 80, 82, and so that might be too much, and she might not have enough of a temperature gradient. So she seems to be doing really well. All right. You saw my female Bolens. Here's my male Bolens python. And his lights went out in his cage, so it's a little dark, but it's kind of a little more eerie. You can see he's really, really black. He's got like this black and white thing going on. Very nice personality. Really beautiful. Look at that. How cool is that snake? That is a cool, cool snake. I can't wait until my female gets old enough to put with them, and they can just create an outdoor enclosure for them and watch them really, really thrive, hopefully. That's kind of the goal. And I got them kind of in a naturalistic setting here. I kind of spray it down to keep nice and moist. But at the end of the day, I'd love to get him outside so he can bask when he wants to and just really enjoy the climate changes, because I really think that these Bolens pythons really need cooler temps. I think they'll do really well in the humidity outside here in Florida. So we'll see. Future tech. Here's a really nice little female I produced 2 years ago. Now she's going on 2. She is a possible super caramel. So 2 copies of caramel gene, I'm pretty sure. She's at least got 1. And she's 66% het snow, or moonglow, I guess you would say, because a moonglow carpet python is a caramel albino axanthic. So she's 66% het for axanthic and 66% het for albino. She potentially, like I said, has the 2 copies of the caramel gene. Probably holding her back just because she's so beautiful, and I really don't have any, I don't really have that much great caramel stuff. I have single copy caramel. I think she's double copy. Obviously, the only way we'd really be able to tell would be to breed her out and prove it. So she's a holdback for sure, and we'll see how she progresses over the next couple of years. She's definitely at least 2 years off of breeding. She's 2 years old in age, but she's definitely size-wise, she's small, you know, and that's because carpets a lot of times are really pain in the asses when you first get them or first produce them. They don't really eat a lot the first year or two of their life, and then they hit a point where they start, you know, eating everything. I think she's almost at that stage right now. All right, little update on my fire diamond het blood. So as you know, when you have 2 copies of fire, you get that white leucistic snake in boas. So this is fire, but it's het for blood. So imagine what a fire blood might look like. That would be pretty cool. I would assume that a fire or super fire blood would just look white with black eyes. I don't think it would change anything. I don't think it would add red to it because leucistics just wipe everything out. So that's really not the goal. The goal would be to see if we can see what a visual blood looks like. So 1 copy. So we'd have to breed this girl to something male that's got fire gene in it, you know. Obviously something a little more exotic might be good. Maybe even I have the labby fire that might look really cool. But this girl's still a couple years off, you know, quite a few. She's a 22. She's probably not gonna breed for another 3 years at least. And because she's a year old now, usually you figure fire diamonds take a little longer, so probably 4 years. But she's really nice. She's got some really nice marks. Het blood, when you have 1 copy of the blood gene, you definitely see some aberrant saddles, and you definitely get some interesting colors in there. And obviously fire is kind of cool on its own, but this girl hopefully will be a nice breeder for me at some point. Little update on this IMG hypo labyrinth. You can see the hypo gene right there, and the reds in there. I love labyrinth, as you know, one of my favorite morphs and boas. When you have 2 copies of labyrinth, you get that leucistic crystal. But this is a great combination, the labyrinth with the IMG gene in it, and then of course hypo. This will never get black because the hypo gene would never allow it anyway, nor would the labyrinth gene. So labyrinth takes away pattern, but it also takes away color. It lightens things up too. So hypo labby IMGs will never get totally black. But you can see all the black flecking in there and speckles, and it's definitely getting a much more defined pattern, which is kind of cool, you know, in a sense. I really like the way this combination came out, and at some point, obviously, I think IMG and Labby work really well together because it gives the labyrinth pattern like a 3D look to it. Be interesting to see what a IMG crystal looks like. Just because, you know, crystals are leucistics really pull almost all color, but the leucistic crystals still have pinks in them and stuff like that. They don't get totally white. So I wonder if those pinks would be much more defined with the IMG gene in it. It'll be, you know, someone will eventually do it. I don't know if I'll be the first to do it. Someone else will probably do it before me, but it'll be interesting to see how they look. I haven't shown you these guys in a while. This is a Mystique boa, which is an allelic combination between the onyx gene and the leopard gene, giving it like a leopardish super onyx look. These are also all 50% het blood and 50% het Honduran T positive. Once again, really, really pretty. So this is the super dwarf onyx combined with the leopard, which is a dwarf, but not, you know, not as small as the onyx boas. So these will get a little bigger than onyxes. Once again, they're allelic, meaning that the gene for leopard and the gene for onyx sit on the same allele. If you have 1 copy of leopard and 1 copy of onyx, you get what we call a Mystique. All right, now this is the regular Mystique. Now we're gonna go to the next. This is a little boy. Now this female here is what we call a hypo Mystique. So this is, once again, 1 copy of leopard, 1 copy of onyx gene, and the hypo gene here. So this, just by adding the hypo gene and stripping away a layer of darkness, of melanin, we get this really red snake, because leopards and onyx, when you take away some blacks, are very, very red underneath. They're by nature really red. So Really, really beautiful, beautiful looking little girl here. We produced her. She's almost a year old now. She's gonna stay small, but really pretty. Let's see who else we got. I think we got another hypo Mystique right here. This is a little boy. And you know what? I'm not really sure if he's hypo Mystique or not. He's not quite as red. I have him listed as hypo Mystique, but different. She's way redder than her. He might just be a regular Mystique, but if you look at him compared to this guy, he's way lighter. So it's hard to predict exactly what's going on here. Now remember, leopards and super onyxes are all very variable, meaning that some leopards have more pattern, some have less. So this could just be a low expression or a lower patterned version of the Mystique. I don't really necessarily think that there's necessarily hypo in here. I'm not really sure. Then just to make things even a little more interesting, here's another one of those Mystiques from the same exact litter. This is another girl. And look at how dark her pattern is. She is super dark. Very, almost solidly black looking if you look at her. And look, if we lift her up, she's got some oranges underneath, but this is a really dark Mystique. And once again, I bred a leopard to a super onyx, so I know everything, or I bred a leopard, excuse me, to an onyx. No, this is a super onyx to a leopard we bred. So we know that everything's gonna be Mystique. There's not gonna be any super onyxes, there's not gonna be any leopards. So everything that has this blanked out pattern or leopardish looking pattern. This looks more like a super onyx than a leopard. Super onyxes are really like kind of like almost patternless with this all this darkness in there. But this definitely is a Mystique. And once again, different expression. Now there's definitely no hypo gene in this little girl, but she is really dark compared to those other ones I just showed you. All right, we'll end with this gorgeous girl. This is an IMG MOTLEY VPI T positive. Absolutely spectacularly gorgeous. And no, Hiroshi, this is not the one I'm sending you. Sorry. this is my holdback. Look at her. She's like black, chocolate. Let me see if we can get her head a little better there. Look at that. What contrast in that snake. And she's little too. She's still tiny. She's a 22. She's got so much darkness in her already. It usually takes a long time for the darkness to come out. But when you put that MOTLEY gene and the IMG gene together, they want to make a black snake. Now the VPI T positive albino is trying to take away some of that melanin or prevent that melanin from all coming in because, you know, it's a T positive albino. But this snake, it's just the patterning. Every IMG has a different look to it. This one is just knocks my socks off, really. I really love this, the way this looks. This is like a work of art almost. She's display worthy for sure, this snake. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today here at Palumbo's Pythons and Boas. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you had something fun planned this weekend, a little relaxation. Hopefully your breeding season is going well. Getting some eggs on the ground for the ball pythons. Getting some boa litters at this point. Hopefully for you guys, we've been slow the last week and a half. We kind of had a little early surge and now we're kind of like leveled off a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just starting to get my bearings, you know, in the snake room, and hopefully we're gonna start listing some really cool stuff from 22. I got some really nice boa stuff I'm gonna list as well. And I noticed a lot of people are picking up more snakes now. So I guess the tax season checks must have come in by now. So that's good. That's good news for all of us, right? We all need some money. All right. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you have any suggestions for future topics, definitely put them in the comments below or contact me directly. I love ideas. And they don't have to come from me. As long as I got an idea, I will do a video on it. I promise you that. All right, guys. I hope once again you have a great weekend planned, and you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, hit that like button. I'll see you back Monday morning.